Hey everyone, this is Chris, and today we are working on the E39 M5 Wagon Build. We're going to be putting together the rest of the pieces in the engine bay, such as the cooling system and the intake plenum, so we can get this car started and running. In the last episode, we didn't have enough fuel, but since then, I've gone and put 3 gallons of fuel in the tank, so this car should run. We do run into some issues, which you'll see by the end of the video. They say a smart man learns from his mistakes and a wise man learns from the mistakes of others. So hopefully all you viewers out there can be a wise man and learn from my mistakes and enjoy some quality BMW content at the same time. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So now we're going to install these collectors for the headers, because currently we have open headers and it is too loud, and we're going to put these collectors on. I got these from Michael over at Michigan Motors. He's got plenty of E39 M5 goodies in stock, so if you need anything, hit him up. All right, I'm super excited. I can't hold back any longer because we've got everything in the engine bay almost ready, connected tight, except for the intake manifold, the plenum, but we're gonna do that next. I just finished installing the collectors, so the exhaust is gonna sound pretty crazy and I can't hold myself back. We're gonna go ahead and start this car right here, right now, so you can hear what it sounds like. I'm super excited. Thanks for following along. Enjoy. Okay, so this car sounds nuts. We're gonna have to go ahead and install the intake plenum because I think that there's something wonky going on with the mass airflow sensors. And let's just go ahead and try that because I think that might be what's holding this engine back from running to its full potential. Let's try that. All right, we've got our intake plenum installed, and now we're gonna try for the first time to start it. I just finished clearing the codes. Let's see how it runs and see what kind of codes it pops. All right, so it looks like we have some diagnosing to do. The engine will start and then run and then stopped running. And I don't know, I feel like it's fouling out, like it's getting too much gas. So let's see if we can take a look and find out what's going on. All right, so I'm having to give it gas to actually start it now. So looking at the fault codes, we've got function exhaust Vanos bank 2 and camshaft sensor bank 2. Not plausible with crankshaft position. So I think what we're gonna do is swap around the camshaft position sensors and see if we just have a bad camshaft position sensor, hopefully. All right, so I just want to give you guys a quick update here since I'm getting these codes for the bank 1 and bank 2 exhaust camshaft position. I'm thinking it could be Vanos related, not sure yet. I know I want to buy a set of camshaft position sensors just to cross that off, but for now, since those would be a few days away in shipping, what I am going to do is I'm going to pull off the valve covers. I'm going to check the fins on all the camshafts, make sure all the fins are straight, because if they're bent and the camshaft position sensor isn't picking them up, then that could be causing our issue. And then we'll check the timing on the motor, make sure that's fine, and check out the Vanos, make sure that is installed correctly, because I did go through it and already made sure like twice that was timed correctly, but it could be off. So anyways, we'll figure this out. I'm gonna cut back in once I've got the entire thing undone, and I'll show you guys if maybe we found something by then, okay?
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
All right, so we've got the engine off again, and it's bad news, folks. After playing around with the timing and the motor just going from sort of running, sounding like it was cammed, to just running worse and worse, I did talk with Michigan Motors about how the Vanos should be set up, and it looks like the last time that I tried to install it, I did get the timing right, but by then the damage has already been done. I mistimed my motor here and I bent the valves. So I bought a compression tester and tested all about 3 cylinders on this side and 3 cylinders on this side, and all of them were at 0 pounds of pressure. I actually thought that it was an issue with my tester, but then I tested the S52 on my 318 Ti and it read 150 cold. And so I know that engine is healthy, runs well, but obviously this one is kaput. So what we're doing now is we're taking off the heads. We're gonna drop this motor out so we can get the headers off, so we can take the heads off. We're gonna inspect the heads for the damage that was done. Hopefully the short block, you know, the rotating assembly is all good, and we just have to replace a ton of valves. So that's what we're gonna do now. This is like obviously a big setback, but we are not gonna let it phase us, and we're gonna continue taking this thing apart. As you can see, I've already started here, and we're gonna get this motor out, get the heads off, and if we need to take these heads to the machine shop, we can take them down and get them checked out, or maybe we can grab a valve removal tool and check these valves out ourselves, and that would save us, I think, a lot of time, and that way we could get the new valves, install them, put the heads together, finally get the timing correct, maybe install a few new gaskets since we'll be waiting on some parts anyways, and then we'll hopefully have this thing together. So I'm sorry everyone, I feel like I failed you, but it is what it is, and all we can do is learn from our mistakes and keep moving forward. Now, one thing that I have been messing around with was when I originally had the heads built and inspected and polished at the shop, they did come back and tell me that a few of the valves were bad. And so I went ahead and marked them myself because I already tested them. But for example, this valve, to me, the naked eye, it looks fine. I mean, you can put it down and it seems flat, spin it, and it doesn't seem like, you know, it's moving too much up here. But as soon as we put this on the drill, you'll see why this valve is bad. So at a low speed, At a very low speed, you can see that this has the slightest shimmy. So you can see that this valve has the slightest bend in it. Probably right around here is where that bend is, and it's causing the little bit of play that you're seeing when I'm spinning it. So that's how we can inspect our valves and determine if they're bad. These ones came out of the motor from before I started playing with it. So either the motor was over revved previously, or the valves were bent due to the Vanos being improperly aligned by someone trying to play with it before me. So now the only thing left to do is to pull the heads off and see what condition they're in. And to show you what the timing is like on the motor right now, you can see that the crank lock is in. I ended up buying the original BMW tool. Over here, you can see that we have the timing marks. If you look right there on the cam, they're supposed to align between the rocker and the cam lobe, and you can see they're aligned. This one's a little bit off. This one's in line, this one's in line. And for the Vanos to be aligned, the Vanos has to be sticking out as much as possible. You can see right there, it basically has to be touching the front timing cover. So that's correct. This one's correct, it's just a little bit raised off. This one's correct, it's basically touching. And this one, it has a larger gap, so it's not fully extended. So you don't see the gears of the Vanos. But if you notice, the timing mark on this one is a little bit advanced. So if we grabbed our wrench and pulled the wrench backwards, then the Vanos would come out and it would be flush just like the other ones. So that's what the manual means, I guess, when they talk about initial position. It's very important that these things are fully extended out before you tighten down these 6 bolts, or the 6 per Vanos sprocket. So before you consider rebuilding this motor yourself, or perhaps doing the Vanos anti-rattle procedure, then I would strongly consider taking it to a qualified mechanic that has rebuilt S62 motors before and fully understands the timing procedure, because a lot of people have made this mistake, retimed the motor poorly and caused it to bend valves, and that seems to be something common in the community. So now we need to remove the motor from the car so we can get the heads off and determine how many valves we need to replace. So here's the engine with the heads removed. You can see the pistons here. There's a little bit of charring, a little bit of residue from there not being any compression on this side, obviously. And then over on this side, you see the beginning of the same symptoms over there. A little bit of residue, but the cylinders look like they were running, obviously, because we did get the car running at first. I think that this side was not right, and it just started losing compression. So let's go look at the heads now. And looking at the heads here, you can see the damage that has been done. These are the exhaust valves. All of them appear to be bent. Some of them are sticking out, some of them they're just barely sticking out, but they're all bent here. And then over on the other bank, you can see all of the valves are basically stuck open. So all the exhaust side on this side, all the exhaust side on this side, does look like the intake valves came out unscorched. So hopefully we don't have to replace those. But now we definitely need to order some parts, get the new valves on the way here, and replace some other O-rings and things while we've got the front end of the car off. Just a couple things that we missed the first time around. Might as well do them this time around since we're gonna be ordering parts and waiting on that stuff anyways. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Kind of a bummer finding out that the motor wasn't timed correctly when we put it together. And so that's what caused our engine damage. But you know what? We just gotta keep persevering. I could say a whole bunch of things, but at the end of the day, we just gotta remain positive, and I really wanna get this car done, hopefully before the end of the year. So the next thing we gotta do is buy these parts, get them slapped in the motor, and then quickly reassemble it, time it correctly, and then we'll hopefully be running and on the road. If you liked the video, go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, and tell me how stupid I am for making this mistake, and hopefully we won't make it again. I'll see you in the next one.